Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, a few words about the performance, about the work you have submitted. First of all, not many of you submitted your work assignment. And what I perceive or what I understand, the lack of submission or you may say the fewer number of submissions is because of maybe some of you are not very familiar, very comfortable with the MS Word, and they thought it difficult or they found it difficult to type the assignment and submit it. But a few of you have submitted their work, 7 or 8, and some of the work was really very, very impressive. I do not want to give the names of the candidates or students who performed so well, who worked really impressively. And I have sent their work back after marking it with proper comments. And for your help and for your guidance, I have also attached with your work the examiners, the chief examiner's comments on that particular question that you attempted. Now listen, there are few clarifications. Number one, whenever you are given a question like write a story which includes the words in the quotes, they are actually the climax of the story. They are actually the main theme of the story, and the whole narrative revolves around it. It is not just like that you can write any narrative and by the end you add that particular line. And one more thing, please. The topic was, I was so glad that my mother didn't give up. It was a first-person narrative. The main character, the protagonist of the narrative or the story that you wrote had to utter this expression. You shouldn't give this line to another character because your topic is I, first person. The narrative is first person, and it was about a person. And one of the candidates, one of the students, she has written really very impressively. She got 27 marks out of 30. It was really a very, very splendid, very impressive attempt. But please, one thing. Adversity provides great opportunities for learning. What I have realized after marking or going through your work, that this method, using MS Word for typing your work, is very, very fruitful, and you will realize this will make you more confident, more productive as well, and this will also provide the teacher best opportunity to provide you guidance and also to mark your work and also to point out the beauties or the weaker areas in your work. So this is a great opportunity. Please, those of you who have not submitted their work, I request them, take some time out, do some serious work, type on MS Word, and it is also advised, please, instead of writing on your maybe mobiles, it is advised that use your computer or your laptop. This will provide you a great opportunity for learning. Okay, Then please, one very important thing which can guide you, which can help you to build your story, and that is the narrative writing structure. Because your, you may say, canvas is very limited, and you have to develop the whole story from the beginning to the end just in 500 words. Therefore, you have to plan your work. Always plan your work, please. First comes the setting. And I also mentioned this, that please, it is always wise to write about the things you know very well, write about your own people, write about your own culture, write about your own community, your own country, your own locations. So the first setting, location, surrounding, atmosphere, time, season, weather. But please do remember, if you have memorized excellent expressions about the weather, do not use it. Do not use the expressions, because if your expressions which you have learned are not related to the story or to the plot, they will be useless. They will not produce the intended impact on the examiner. And the second thing that is also very important is characterization. Characters. Please do remember, your narrative is very limited. It is not a novel, it is just a short story. Therefore, you shouldn't introduce more than 3 characters. It is to your advantage if you write just about 1 or 2 people. Okay? Then when you are characterizing or building your characters, you have to keep in your mind, for example, describing appearance, physical appearance. There are so many expressions which you can learn about the appearances of people, their behavior, how they react, how they socialize, how they interact with people, and also make the relationship between different characters clear, so that you can carry on with your plot. Then please, problem. What is the problem? For example, in this narrative, the problem was with the mother. And as I have provided information to those of you who submitted their work with the examiner's comments. The problems could be so many. It can be a personal problem, problem with the education of the person, problem with the family, maybe economic crisis, maybe some other issue. It could be any issue. Okay, then climax. Please, many of you already know what is the climax of a narrative or a story. By the climax, we mean the point of greatest interest. By climax of a narrative, we mean the point of greatest interest. And the last comes the resolution. When the writer comes to the outcome of the narrative, what ultimately ends, how the story ends, what is the, and generally great writers. For example, here I would like to mention American writer O. Henry. If you read his stories, you will find that in the end, he gives a twist to the narrative. If you do not read the last few lines of the story, you will not come to know what ultimately happens. Okay? And so this is all about your work that you did and the feedback. And now for today, we are going to start paper 2. But before I start, paper 2, I would like to read some of the guidelines given by the examiner. Please listen. There are many questions. There are many questions in the minds of the students which they want to ask, about which they are not very clear and they are confused about them. And sometimes examiners provide answers to frequently asked questions. And one of the frequently asked question is every mistake penalized or punished? But the examiner says, please listen. The question was, are candidates penalized for every language error they make? And the examiner says, in paper 1, every error is marked by the examiner. Then an assessment is made of the broad level of achievement of the answer as a whole. It means they look at your work holistically. They take into account all the work produced by you, okay? Then to determine which mark band is the best fit for that answer. Actually the mark band, they are given in the marking key as well. Then he says, examiners do not simply deduct a mark for every error. As in many cases, the candidate makes the same kind of errors several times, and we would only punish or penalize them once for one kind of error. So not all the errors or mistakes are punished. Then another often asked question about American spelling. What the examiner says is whatever spelling you adopt, you should be consistent. For example, if you are writing American spelling of a word, for example, color, C-O-L-O-R, then please do not keep on shifting from British spelling to American spelling. Then another very important question. Should candidates make plans or drafts of their answers? No, please. The answer is, it is very sensible to think carefully about the exact wording of the title. That the title of the question is very, very important. Read the question very carefully and always highlight the main leading words, because your story will be revolving around those words. For example, one question, write a story in which an interview is important. And what has happened in one of the work submitted by the candidate, that he or she just introduced the interview, but the story is not about the interview. So this mistake should not be repeated. Please, whatever the topic is given, it means the story should go around it. Everything is related to that topic. And then he says, it is very sensible to think carefully about the exact wording of the title and then make a short plan. And as I explained last time, that please do not make a very elaborate, a very complex plan, because when you come to writing, you will not be able to execute your plan truthfully. You will be changing it because you are running against time, and 40 minutes time is not enough to develop each and every detail that you have planned. Therefore, the simpler the plan, the better. Now, please, today's work, we are now going to You already know your paper 2, the reading paper. Reading comprehension, you may say, is very, very important because reading is crucial to learning English. And it is very unfortunate that as a nation, we are not good at reading. We are not in the habit of reading seriously. But you already know that your paper is divided into 2 parts, passage 1 and passage 2. Now, reading for ideas. Your passage 1 is objective. It is just a short passage, maybe 45 to 50 lines, which is borrowed from any source. But the examiner, he or she re-edits or recomposes it and brings it up to the Cambridge standard. Okay. Generally, it is about some social, cultural, historical, everyday life aspect. For example, you might have gone through some of the passages. For example, it can be about piracy, it can be about mobile phones, cars, sugar, coffee. There are so many passages for your practice in the Cambridge resources. And the passage is generally of common interest. Whatever information is provided in the passage is not beyond your understanding. And perhaps generally you already know what the examiner talks about. For example, if he's talking about advantages and disadvantages of mobiles, I think you all know what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages. Okay, now please listen. It is not always advantages and disadvantages. It can be any focus. It can be similarities and dissimilarities. It can be problems and solutions. It can be causes and effects, or it can be any you may say any area. How something became popular and how it lost its popularity. And the passage is so perfectly composed that the content points, they are organized in such a way that you shouldn't find any difficulty in recognizing them and writing them. And so we are continuing passage 1. Okay, now please listen. The first part of the passage is content points. The examiner or the first question about the content points will be, read the passage carefully and pick out or identify the advantages of mobile phones and disadvantages of mobile phones. And then he keeps on guiding you or maybe instructing you that the first guidance that is provided to you is use note form. Now, in new paper, new syllabus, he very clearly says use note form. And please listen, what is a note? A note form means not continuous writing. What mistake most of you make is that you keep on borrowing or lifting sentences from the passage and writing it as your answer and making the whole paper a mess. And it becomes so difficult for the teacher to award you the mark for the points. But the direction is so clear. A note is just a phrase. It is just a phrase, not the whole sentence. And therefore, please, when you are underlining the passage, looking for your content points, just look at the verb phrase, which is about, for example, if it is about mobile phones, and he says, it makes access to people convenient. This is more than enough. Generally what happens, after giving the content point, the writer, the examiner, he will keep on elaborating. For example, he gives the examples, he also gives details about something, but your task is not to go for examples or not to write everything he has written about one particular point. You just have to make note form. Now, the next question will be, how many? And for content points, there are 12 marks available. And if you are intelligent, if you do your work methodically, systematically, carefully, I assure you that you can get full marks in this part of the paper. And for your help, sir, will it be possible to show them something? कुछ दिखाना? अच्छा. Okay, please. Dear students, Achha. Achha. Okay, you can go through it later on. Actually, this was from the examiners about the candidates' responses, and this candidate got 12 out of 12. For example, this is the latest paper, perhaps 2018 winter paper. For example, the passage is about people and animals. Okay. The candidates continues. For example, after following the guided point given by the examiner. For example, the examiner says means of human transport, and then the candidate is continuing. For example, used to move objects around. Very brief, focused. And next, early humans learned how to use their hides and from these animals to keep themselves warm and dry. Useful in hunting other animals. Animals had a role to play in warfare. Used in sports in early civilizations. So you will look at, when you go through the attempt made by the candidate, you will see that he or she is very focused and very, very careful, not writing anything irrelevant. And one more thing, if you are not careful about what you have to write in your content points, and you keep on lifting from the passage wholesale, this will give you little space for making your work readable for the examiner. So please be very, very careful, and please listen how you have to proceed for this paper. If you follow these directions, you will always be able to produce the best results. Number one, the first step is read the question carefully. This is the first step, reading the question carefully. Then underline the areas. For example, the examiner says, okay. Now please listen. It can be any passage. For example, it can be theater. For example, this is about theater. He says, okay, what were the reasons for popularity in former times, and what are the reasons for its popularity in modern times? So these are the two areas that you have to focus. And when you read the passage, you will see that all the passages are very clearly split up into two parts. And for example, if the writer is discussing popularity in former times, he will shift into popularity in modern times, it will be very clearly visible to you, because he will be using words like So the writer will be, the examiner will be using the words like however, on the other hand, and you very well know that we use transitions. These are transition words, basically. And we use transition words when there is shift. And we use however when we are going to talk something opposite. For example, he has talked about former times, and when he is going to talk about modern times, it will be very clearly shown in the paragraph. So generally what happens if there are, suppose, 5 passages in the factual passage, the first 3 passages will be about the first direction, and the last 2 paragraphs will be about the second direction. So what you can do for your own help, for your own for example, this is your passage. This is your passage. First paragraph, second, then the third, then the fourth, and the last paragraph, fifth. Now, what you have to done, for example, the causes of popularity of something in former times. And then if you go methodically, systematically like this, I assure you, you can get full marks in this part of the paper. 12 out of 12 is a great advantage to any candidate. And this is something which is reachable. Almost each one of you can get 12 marks if you are careful, if you plan your work, and if you go methodically, systematically. Then then the next step is underlining the relevant points. And when you read the passage, and you also come to the given content point which the examiner has given you, your points will begin after that point. And please keep on following the points. And one more thing, please keep in your mind, whenever the examiner talks about the topic, that is the point. For example, if the passage is about television and he says, television did this. Or if the passage is about cars and the point begins, cars have brought speed to our life. This is the point. So please, this is a great tip for all of you to remember that whenever the examiner talks about the topic, there is a point. But when he keeps on elaborating, when he continues to describe, maybe giving examples, etc., that is not the point. Your point is only when he says something about the topic. There are actually so many other, you may say, useful, helpful tips, but please do attempt your paper. I am sending you the latest paper. Maybe this is about 18 October-November paper, but that will be for tomorrow's assignment. The assignment that you will get tomorrow will be a whole paper, okay, complete paper, passage 1, passage 2 as well. Please attempt it carefully because this will greatly help you. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate. You can email the question to me, or you can ask the question when I come to answer your question. And the paper I have sent you, you can look at it and you can discuss it with me later on. Okay. Thank you very much, please. We'll continue create paper 2, or you may say comprehension paper tomorrow, inshallah.